Hello everyone, John here again with another video, and what I thought we'd have a look at today is just playing one chord. Everything I did there was just one chord. It was just a D chord, and you know, a lot of times when you play guitar and we play guitar, you know, we're all trying to get better, and sometimes you think that playing more complicated things will lead to more satisfaction, but that's not always true. So today I'm just going to show you some amazing little things you can do with one chord. I'm picking on a D chord, but actually you can do these with all of the chords. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you some of the tricks that I used in this video to give you some ideas to, you know, hopefully get you playing and get some enjoyment out of just a little thing that you know, all right? All right, so let's start off with something really simple. You might know these already, but if you're new to this, I'll just go over them anyway. A D chord, that's what it looks like, all right? Hopefully you know that one. Now, one thing you can do is take off your second finger, so you've got that open E ringing. Now this, when you change your fingers, they're all making different chords, and you don't have to worry for this lesson about what the names of the chords are. I will tell you what they are, but you can just think of it of taking fingers on and off. You know, if you're new to guitar and you're having a little go at this, you don't have to worry about the names so much, just think it as moving fingers. So this is a D sus2. Put it back on, it's a D. If you add your little finger to the 3rd fret of the high E, that's a D sus4. So they're very common ones. D sus2, D, D sus4, D. I did a little hammer on there with my second finger. So that's a very common one. You hear that in lots of tunes. One which is another quite nice one, if you can reach this one, get your little finger, move it up to the 5th fret, keep that D where it is, and you get this. So you've got, that's kind of like a D over an A there. That note is an A. Then you can move back to the sus4 again, to the D, to the D sus2, to the E. So you're getting this moving line. But if you play that with the chord, do a hammer on there. So up to you what strumming you use, of course. So that's quite a nice one. Also, one big thing is don't underestimate dynamics. What I mean by that is how loud and soft you play. You can get a lot of mileage just by going. So I'm playing loud here. I'll go soft. Get louder. Softer. Louder. So do muck about with that. Also, just to remind you, when you're playing a D chord, don't play the E and the A there. You're just strumming from the D. Right? So there we go. Now, so what we did in that first example was going, the notes were G, F sharp, E, and D. What if I've run out of ideas? Why don't I do that lower down? So I could go, here's a G note, an F sharp, an E, and an open D. So now, to do that, I'm going to need to free up this, so I get a D sus2 chord, my second finger. So I'm going to play, all right, D over G, D over F sharp. I'm doing that with my thumb. If you prefer to do it that way with your first finger, you can. So we've got this. D over F sharp. Now I'm going to go D over E, back to the D. Now, by the way, when you're doing this, you don't want this. Can you hear that starts to get a bit muddy? So what you're doing is you're playing the low note first, the G, and then you're strumming the high bit of the chord. All right, so you get this. And keep that note ringing. It's not this. It's. So it's nice and sustained for the E. And then when I go to the D, I'm really focusing on the D and the G strings there. All right, so that's a nice one. So if you had two guitar players, one of you could go, and then you could go. So that's cool. So that's basically taking the same idea, moving it down to the low string. Another one that you might want to do is, this is quite good. You can start to think about moving fingers. So the finger I'm going to choose is this one here, my first finger, and I'm going to move it back. So I'm going to go this. But with the chord again. So I can do this with the D. That's a flat 5. This note. Go over a G again, which is the same as really that. That's a G note, same as that really. So so you can do that with the D chord, or you can do it with the sus2. If you want to make it a bit cooler, you can hammer on. Last one, pull off. The other thing you could do is this. That you're kind of just emphasizing 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... So the first beat, you know, you're making a bit louder. That sounds quite nice. Staccato, that's quite good. That's used in rock a lot. Let's try another finger. Let's go back to a D again. What about if I move this finger back? If I go... I didn't use this in my little playing at the beginning, I don't think, but it's a D. It's D major 7 if you're borrowing across the 2nd fret. Move back one more, it's a D7, D6 with the B. That's been used in a couple of songs. That sounds nice, and you can finger pick it too. You know, try all these ideas. Finger pick it. You know, staccato it if you want to. So there we go. That's another good one. This one we've done the high E string, haven't we? Kind of moving back and forward. So we've done the high E string, the B string. That we've changed it into a lower string. The other thing you might want to think about doing is playing a power chord. Now, a D power chord is that. So we've got first finger on the D note, on the 5th fret of the A, and your little finger on the 7th fret. Oh, I use my little finger anyway, of the D, so you get that. Now that is a bit obvious, but here's an interesting thing you might want to think about. Normally in the D chord, the D is on the top, but let's say we rip off that idea we did down here. G, F sharp, E, back to the D again. Why don't we do that down here? So we can put the D on the bottom and the G on the top. So we've got G. Keep that finger where it is. Move back 1 fret with your first finger. Interesting sound. That's the F sharp, by the way. Take it off for the E. And then resolve it to the normal D. So if I do that with a bit of rhythm. And you can add some open strings in there. So you can add those. So there we go. All right. So have a muck about with those, see what you can come up with. So a lot of these tricks, you know, that I've picked up really was because I was such a bad guitar player. In the first place, you know, what I mean by that is, you know, when I was younger, I learned one chord, a D chord, and that's all I knew. I didn't know anything else. So you're forcing yourself to be creative with it, you know, like I said before in the lesson, you know, what fingers can you move around? What would it sound like if you move that one up, that one down? And sometimes it sounds great, sometimes it sounds bad. So these are some ones that I found over the years, listening to songs, watching other people play, mucking around myself, which seem to work. So have some fun with that. Thanks for watching the video. Remember to subscribe, and I shall see you in the next episode.